Hello, it's Mihaela Telecan from Healing with Foods, and I'm back with another live video. I and we survived the hurricane safely, thank God. Many people suffer great losses, life losses and material possessions. I have to say I'm very blessed. All we had to do was major cleanup. So for me, this hurricane was a great cleansing, had a great cleansing effect. I got to do some cleaning of the office, some cleaning of the house, and cleaning of the yard. It was a good opportunity to get into fasting. I always say if a hurricane comes and you're not prepared for with foods, right, at least have water, because you cannot live without air. Number one, like more than, I don't know, 2 minutes was the record, and for sure you cannot live without water. You can go maybe up to 72 hours, but you can live without food. You have plenty of stored energy on your body, so you can. So hurricane, it's a great time for fasting. If you choose to, if you are afraid of ever fasting, you can use that as an opportunity. However, in real life, most people do go off of their so-called healthier lifestyle or their efforts of changing the way they eat and they live their life. Sleep gets affected, food intake gets affected, exercise, all that. So anyway, this was a long introduction to what I want to talk about today. So today I had great coaching sessions with some of my private clients, and very important topics came out. Just about everybody was affected by the hurricane. Exactly how I was saying, you know, kind of fall off the wagon. Hello, I have one viewer. Welcome to today's ad hoc live video talking about hurricane and how stressful events affect our health and well-being, as well as the main topic of today is going to be how to get out of overwhelming feelings when it comes to nutrition and fitness and lifestyle changes, because it's a lot of conflicting information out there. How to make sense of the one size fits all, if there's such thing. And finally, how to, the last one that I want to talk about is, gosh, it slips my mind. Balance. All things in moderation, and yes, follow a balanced diet. I'm kind of on the extreme, so I may be biased, but I'll get there too. So anyway, I was talking about some things that came out in the private coaching today, and I felt like these are great points to share with everybody out there. So when you are under stressful events such as the hurricane we just had, nevertheless, you are going to go off, stray away from what you're doing in terms of your lifestyle. And depending where you are on your health and healing journey, you're off maybe going back to eating fast food and drinking sodas, or it may be eating too many nuts and drinking too much coffee. An example, right? So it varies where you go off. It all depends what where you are on that road, right? But the key point is to recognize that you are off and to get up and go back on that new road. Don't stay stuck in there or go back to your old default. Remember, changing lifestyle implies changing behaviors. You can't really change a behavior. You have to replace a behavior that doesn't serve your goal with another one. So I think the more you are aware of you falling off your new path, and not dwelling, not staying there and say, oh, that's the dieter mentality. Oh, I'm gonna start tomorrow, so what difference does it make? I'm gonna do the whole week like that and I'll start Monday. No, you get up now and you do it now, because it matters. It matters how you feel. It matters the energy you have. It matters how you sleep. It matters how you think. All that. So that was the hurricane lesson and falling off health and healing journey, right? The life and health transformation path. Now, what I wanted to talk today, okay, I'm back. I had a phone call. I had to decline it. So what I actually wanted to talk about today that came out in my conversation with one of my clients was she mentioned how, you probably know if you've been following me for a while. If not, I can remind you. I am, first of all, I promote whole foods and using food as medicine. So people that come and work with me, they say, I don't want to be on medication. I want to heal my body, reverse diseases using food and lifestyle changes that imply sleep and imply exercise and mindfulness and meditation and all that. So they come to me because I follow a whole foods approach, and I know how to use therapeutic diets, and but I'm a low carb dietitian, if you want to call me dietitian, a low carb advocate. I follow low carb diet. It's been working very well for me. So it's kind of against the grain, it's against the norm, it's not a so-called balanced diet. So that's why I want to touch about overwhelmed feelings, feeling the all size fits all. 1 second, I had this pop-up in there. Another one. No more pop-ups, I have to take them out. And what is balance? What is this balance? It's so relative. So overwhelmed. We are all overwhelmed by the amount of information we get now with you know, you Google it, you find 10 things about one thing, and 8 out of 10 are conflicting, right? So one person reading everything and trying to find answers and solutions to their problem can feel very overwhelmed, right? So that's why in many ways I say prune it. Unsubscribe from things that you sign up thinking that they're beneficial for you. If they don't serve you, they just add to the pressure of you doing something that you're not sure is the right thing to do. So prune that out. Then the best way to get out of overwhelm is to remember that you are one unique individual. And everything that we tell you, healthcare practitioners, it's based on guidelines that fits the majority. You are not the majority. You are one unique individual. So you always have to see where you are right now. Are you a nursing mother? Are you a woman that's trying to get pregnant? Are you a woman that is trying to lose 50 pounds? Are you trying to get hold of your diabetes and control it with food, not with medications? Are you trying to prevent cancer? Are you trying to improve your performance in your running or in the gym? Everybody has different goals, and everybody's at different stages in their life. So you have to know where you are. What stage, physiological stage are you? Are you in a growth phase? Are you in a need for cleansing and losing weight phase? Are you in whatever physiological stage you are in, because they're ever changing? You need to know that, and you need to know what is your goal. What are you trying to target with food? It's just overall well-being. It may be one approach. All of this, everything I talked about, all these different nursing or being pregnant or losing weight or controlling diabetes or cancer, you name it, all of this can be addressed with food. But the interventional food approach may differ very much from the nursing mother to the woman that's trying to lose weight. In some ways may overlap. They all should be based on whole foods, right? With some addition of some supplements. But you have to always see where you are in your physiological state, in your life, and what is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? And then once you know that and you're very clear on that, then you have to draw the map. How do I get from here where I am to where I want to go? And then you start doing research and you sift it and see if it resonates with you and if it makes sense. And of course, this requires some knowledge. So if someone tells you if you want to lose weight, you have to restrict calories because it's calories in versus calories out, okay, you may try that. But what do? After 2-3 months, you stop, you pause, and you evaluate. How is this working for me? Am I losing weight? Am I in control with food? Am I free of food cravings? Am I in peace? So food is not my preoccupation every day, every second of my life. Am I able to maintain this for the rest of my life, this way of eating and exercising? So you evaluate. If it's working, go on and do it. It works for you. It's one approach that works for you. If it doesn't work, you've got to look what else is being done in the area you're looking for and try it for yourself. So it's always a matter of knowing where you are, what you want to get, and evaluating what you're doing. How is it working, right? It always helps, of course, if you have some knowledge, like to make sense of different theories that are out there, but you just have to remember you are one unique individual and no size fits all. What fits for me right now doesn't fit for you, or what fits for me right now may not fit 1 year from now, or it didn't fit 3 years ago. We are changing, and you have to have that awareness of you and your body. Now, I want to talk about balanced diet, because you say, when I tell people, okay, so if you want to manage your blood sugar, if you want to lose weight, if you want to improve your metabolic parameters like lipid profile, triglycerides, cholesterol, you name it, and any of those, right? I'm telling you, try the low carb approach, because this and that. And I talked about this extensively, and you can go and get my 3 things you've got to change program, which has a good explanation of why low carbohydrate diet works for these people. It doesn't work for, not everybody has to be on low carb diet, again, depending on what your goal is. But if your goal is to lose weight, hopefully you want to lose fat, not muscle, is to manage your blood sugar, to have sustainable energy, physical and mental, to be free of food cravings. If you want to control blood sugar, to get your body to deal properly with carbohydrates coming from the diet, if you want to improve your lipid panel, if you want to even influence your blood pressure, so these are some things, right, that we target with a lower carbohydrate approach. This is one approach that if you didn't try, I encourage you to try. And my program, 3 things you've got to change, has a whole section on that one. But anyway, I want to go back to the balance. So if your conventional dietitian or even your conventional doctor would look at this approach and would say, what? You are restricting fruits, it's whole foods, I agree, but you restrict fruits, you don't eat whole grains, you don't eat potatoes and other starches, you don't, of course, they're okay with taking out sugar, but these are whole foods, you don't eat legumes, you take all this out. They'll be like, this is not a balanced diet, you need to follow a balanced diet because, and my question is, because what? What is a balanced diet? What do we define balanced diet? What is our criteria? Is it the diet we've been promoting for the last 50 years, low fat, high carb diet? Is it the processed foods that we're eating for the last 100 years and mostly in the last 50 years? Is that what we establish the criteria of a well-balanced diet? Or we look and we come up with a balanced diet by looking at what ancestors did when they first were here on earth without having food industry, drive-thrus and delivery, right? So what is balanced diet? I would like to know. It's very relative. It's all what you compare to. If you go to the people that live right now in Africa and they're completely isolated from modern society, their balanced diet doesn't look anything like our balanced diet. So I don't want to hear about balanced diet, okay? I hope I made my point, and I hope if you agree, comment below. If you don't agree, comment below. I want to hear this, okay? So that's my idea of balance. And now I want to also make another point about balance. Let's say balanced diet is this many carbohydrates coming from dairy and fruits and grains and all that food that turns eventually into sugar, right? This much protein, this much fat. This is the balanced diet we know of today. But you're here, you're full-blown diabetes, you have obesity, like morbid obesity, you have sleep apnea, your lipid panel is like a ticking bomb to set you for a heart attack, right? With high triglycerides, high LDL, low HDL, all that. You're here in an extremely bad health condition. And you want to fix that with a balanced diet. I want to know, with a balanced approach, when are you going to get from here, here? You may, time is passing, it may take you 50 years, you'll be dead by then with your balanced diet approach. So, in my humble opinion, and this is just my opinion, you can go by it or not, try it or not. If you're in an extreme situation, you need to take extreme measures to come to the floating point. That's my opinion on balance. So try it. Try it and see how it works. Try the balance and see how far you get, and then try an extreme approach, so-called extreme. Because again, if we go to Inuit, is nothing extreme about not having carbs in the diet and having tons of fat, because that's what they have available, right? Or if we go 10,000 years ago, before agriculture era, again, that was normal diet, right? So try this so-called extreme where you get rid of some of those carbohydrates, because the reason you are unable to lose weight, the reason your energy goes up and down, the reason you can't control blood sugar, the reason your lipids are off, is because you may have carbohydrate intolerance, meaning your body cannot deal with the amount of carbohydrates you consume right now. And that is because of insulin resistance. And I'm sure you heard about insulin resistance before. It's not the first time you hear. There's many reasons why one gets insulin resistant. I'm not going to go into that. The fact is that if you are insulin resistant, you're carbohydrate intolerant. You can't tolerate carbohydrates. If you're lactose intolerant, what do? You eliminate lactose. If you're gluten intolerant, you eliminate gluten. If you're carb intolerant, if you cannot metabolize carbohydrates effectively, you've got to get rid of them and allow your body to heal to a point where you may be able to tolerate some amount of carbohydrates, depending again on your unique individual physiology. So how do you know you're carb intolerant? Well, what happens, and I'm gonna have to finish this shortly because I need to run. But I want to leave you with this, because this is very, very important point. If you get this point, like what it means to be carbohydrate intolerant, it will make so much more sense for you to say, I want to try this. I want to see what it does to my body. So at any given time in our bloodstream, so we only can hold safely a certain amount of sugar inside the blood, right? So we measure these blood levels, and it's milligrams per deciliters. Depending the time of the day, that varies, right? Like a fasting one, you want to have it like around 70, 80. It's a nice number to aim for. And in any case, like if you would be to take all the blood you have running through your body and all the sugar in your blood, you may have 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar at any given time. Now, at any given meal on our balanced diet today, most people eat 5 or more teaspoons of sugar, or food that eventually converts into sugar, right? So the body has to have a way of removing the sugar that's in excess from the blood, because if it's there at high levels, it's toxic, it's damaging. That's why diabetes is not a desirable place to be. That's high levels of sugar in your blood that leads to glycation, and it affects your nerves, and it affects the retina of your eyes, and it affects your kidneys. So we have horrible complications from uncontrolled diabetes. We all know about that. So the body's normally, when it does that, when it has an influx of sugar, has to get rid of it. The normal physiological body responds with insulin, and insulin tries to shuffle the sugar from the blood inside the muscle, where it's stored as glycogen. Some is stored as glycogen in the liver, some is used right then and there as source of energy. For someone that's carbohydrate intolerant or has insulin resistance, this shuffling of sugar from the blood into the muscle is impaired, cannot do it effectively. So the next thing the body does is shuffles the excess sugar to the liver. and the liver makes it into fat. So that's where you go and you have your blood lipids measured and you have high triglycerides, 200, 300, 400. And you may or you may not have yet elevated blood sugar on your fasting or postprandial or on your A1C, which are also tested, right? But usually the first indicator is elevated triglycerides, and usually an elevation in LDL, the small, dense, more atherogenic type of cholesterol, and a lowering in HDL. That's the typical dyslipidemia. That is a direct consequence in most cases, unless it's genetic dyslipidemia, a result of insulin resistance combined with intake of carbohydrates. Because if you have carbohydrates intolerance, that's what it leads to. So you accumulate, and you have fatty liver, you accumulate fats in your liver, and you have a rise in triglycerides in your bloodstream. Now, if that's your problem, if you know, you went to your doctor and tell you need to lose weight, you need to lower your waistline, you need to improve this lipid panel, they want to put you on medication for lowering triglycerides, or you are pre-diabetic, all these are indication of insulin resistance, carbohydrate intolerance, and the best way to deal with this is remove the cause. Why would you add to the cause? The cause is the carbohydrate in that case. You can't deal with it. You can't safely remove it from the blood. So that's all I had to say about carbohydrate intolerance. And if that's you, my friend, with love, I'm saying this to you. You may want to try the low carbohydrate approach. And if this sounds good to you and you want to try to get some information on what carbs are, how they affect you, how to go from a high carb to a lower carb, try the 3 things I've got to change to go from tired to awesome and unstoppable. Yay! And join my private Facebook group where I post recipes. Just follow me overall. You can find me on healingwithfoods.org. Join my mailing list, private Facebook group, and stay in touch. Post your comments below. I hope you're gonna listen to probably the longest I've done in a long time, but I felt like I really need to take this off my chest because it upsets me to hear so many people confused and overwhelmed. Every client I work with is, when we start working, I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to believe anymore, I don't know where to start, how to do it. If that's your case, stick around. And if you want private coaching, by all means, I'll be more than happy to work with you. If not, group programs. That's the way I'm shifting my business. I'm moving more from one-on-one into groups. So stay tuned. Will be ways in which you can learn and grow and transform your health with whole foods, with movement, which I didn't talk about today, with mindset. It has to take place in your mind before it will happen in your reality. You have to believe it. You have to feel that you can do it. Love yourself and go do it. Have an awesome day, and talk to you soon.